Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tenez the Human, and welcome to this Games Guide edition of Total War. You join me as today we look at how you can add tons of resources to your campaign map. Indeed, if you want the chocolate hills like we've got here in southern Italy, or if you just want all the gold, silver, and ivory in the world, it's nice and easy. It is indeed remarkably easy to do. So we'll get in the game files, show how you can do that. Naturally, this is a bit of a ludicrous example, of course. You probably won't want to go over the top quite like this. What you might like to do is maybe balance out the game a little. There are areas like Tripoli down here, which is colossal, but it has basically nothing but a tiny bit of fish. So maybe you want to do a bit of balancing for some of the more useless territories. Maybe you want to do a little bit of role play. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. But actually what I will do is show you how silly this can get. So Naples here, for example, is obviously our large town in southern Italy. If we go on to the trade summary here, we are gaining 4,626 already. Naturally, if I gain some trade rights, that's going to go pretty darn weird very quickly. So if we get some trade rights from the Papal States, immediately this, you can see down here the number, it's leapt up quite significantly. And indeed, and now it's 6,300. We're actually standing next to the Imperials as well with this diplomat. So if we do the same once more, we're going to leap nearer to 9,000. Yep, indeed. I mean, you know, you can start to see just how incredibly important the resources are. I mean, a good town. I mean, some of these ones over here, some of them have 3 or 4 different resources in the town, which makes them pretty strong. These Italian settlements are generally pretty good. This is slightly overkill. In fact, what I can do is add the mines as well. If I go onto here, process that for Naples. Now, okay, this is a little bit of an advisory for you. Obviously, do be careful with your coordinates. This actually doesn't seem to have broken the game, but it's a little bit ridiculous, isn't it? I thought I'd leave this in just to highlight the point that you just need to bear in mind the cities do take up 4 grids. 4 spaces on the grid anyway. But yep, now with that up to 18,000. And let's get ourselves a port as well. That will, I'm sure, make it even more crazy. Up to 26,000 monies. Yeah, 24,800 there on the tax. Oh, that is ridiculous. Anyway, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a little look at the game files and we'll have a little hunt at how you can change this. It is indeed very, very simple. This works for both Rome Total War and Medieval 2 Total War. I'll probably jump between both of them during this video. I've loaded up the Roman Senate campaign here just as a little example because, of course, if we're going to add resources into the map, we need to know the coordinates of those positions. And the easiest way to do that really is to find yourself a named character. So Servius Maxentius over here, if we search for him in the Desca_strat file, we'll come up with some coordinates for his starting position. And obviously then we can work from that position to go and add resources in. He's got a nice selection of empty spaces next to him, so it'll be very easy for us to go and add a couple numbers on the x-axis, and from there we can start to get whatever resources we want. The other way to do it, though, is to use the console command. If I, for example, use show_cursor stat, and if I hover my cursor over a particular square, I will be able to be given a position here from the computer. So 9869 in region 55, which is Latium. Now, it is exactly where the cursor is and not where the person is. If I actually now hover over Servius Maxentius, I should get his exact position, which is 9469. So that's an alternative way that you can find the coordinates. I tend to use the characters myself, but if you can do it the other way, then maybe you'll prefer that. I'd just like to give you both options. But in any case, better head into the files. I think it's time to get ourselves some lovely elephants. Once inside Rome Total War, you need to head into Data, down into the World folder at the bottom there, through Maps, Campaign, Imperial Campaign, and then what you want is this file here, the Desca_strat. Once inside, you need to look for the Roman Senate. In particular, their faction information. You actually find that the Julii, Scipioni and Brutii have the Senate listed as their kind of super faction. You want to go down to the Roman Senate. You can see here they've got Latium, which is the city of Rome listed here. Now, obviously, what we want to do is scroll down this and find our General Servius Maxentius. So there's Decius, there's Marcus, and here is Servius. He is X94, Y69. That is indeed what we just saw when we used the console commands a minute ago. So I'm just going to copy that just as a quick reminder. If you head back to the top of the file, then it only takes a tiny scroll to get to the start of the resources section. This is really the only bit where you're going to be changing. Now, for a quick example here, iron is listed here, and it is at the x-axis of 83, y-axis of 128. And actually, you can use these particular resources as a kind of basis. So if we go and scroll down and find ourselves some elephants, we'll be able to go and share some of those lovely things around. Now, of course, you might well have made note of the coordinates. I'm going to copy the elephant line and I'm just going to paste it underneath. Naturally, before you do any changes, make sure you do have a backup of the file. You don't want to be fiddling around deleting things later. Much easier to just renew the file if you want to start over. Now, we need to add in the coordinates of our good friend Servius over here. So he was 94, and on y-axis it was 69. And now there'll be elephants under his feet, which is just marvellous. Now, if we wanted to add some other things in there, maybe we want to add some lovely wine. Elephants and wine goes well, doesn't it? So we'll go and copy that in there. Only thing we need to change this time is, again, 94. And let's start with 69 as well. Don't worry about the misalignment. It just depends on the length of the resource here. And yes, if we look at that, 94, 69. Now, we were going to the right, so we need to increase the x-axis by 1. 95, 69. So now this will be wine next to the elephants, which is marvellous. Let's give ourselves some silver as well. We'll take that, and underneath the wine, we will continue to do that. And you can probably imagine now that this is exactly what I did when it came to the opening little section where we were on Medieval 2 Total War. And yeah, essentially I spent a lot of time just copy and pasting and adding different coordinates in. But it's really that simple. I can save this up, and now when we open the game, we'll have elephants, we'll have silver, we'll have wine. Here we are then back as the Roman Senate, and you can see now we've got our lovely elephants under the foot of Servius Maxentius there. Obviously wine on his other side there in that beautiful amphora, and we obviously have some silver mines too. It is really that simple just to add resources in. Obviously you can use this to whatever means you want. And I think where I want to go here is to kind of mix this with the previous episode I did on Games Guys, which was when we looked at how you can move units from one faction to another. Now on that, what I could have done is given Rome some elephants. The only problem is I wouldn't be able to recruit them unless I obviously actually had the resource of elephants, which I now do. So with that, we're going to mix this episode with last episode. I'm going to make a few changes and make elephants recruitable for Rome, and then we can make best use of this lovely resource here. Here we are then back with the Roman Senate with a renamed Elephantus Maxentius, obviously very aptly named for his army of elephants, war elephants, and even the armoured cataphract elephants. Magnificent, and even better because we have ourselves the little elephant resource. We can now get these in Rome. A little bit cheating with Rome, a little bit built up now. It does mean that we can get elephants here, marvellous, and also the war elephants and the armoured elephants, magnificent. Now if you did miss the previous video on how to move units from one faction to another, I'll put a little link in the description below. I go through it all there, but I think it wouldn't be right to have got this little army without something to do with it. So I think we can get over to Gaius Scipio. Let's go have a little fun battle. Oh, he doesn't want to do it. What an absolute fool. Right, well, I'll win the turn and we'll get into a little battle with the elephants. Good old Elephantus Maxentius has chosen his desired elephant to bash down the gate. Soon there'll be nothing left to protect you, lads. In fact, they will be being shot by the armoured elephants. That's right, run! Run through those streets. We'll plough you down where you stand. Looking resplendent over here in their purple, and we're going to send in the elephants to go and take them out on the streets. I did bring a few Triarii, of course. Triarii! And mainly because I never really get to use them, because normally the mariner forms happen as soon as I get them. Anyway though, better get on to the elephants who are going to slam into these chappies over here. Unfortunate for them, no javelins getting away. No. Romans going flying, that's what we need. The brave man who stands up to this army of elephants back here, glowing at the moment, it must be said. But yeah, this Julii chap wants to do it. That's very bold of him. In come all of the tusks and all the trees in the way of the cameraman there. It's a bit rude, isn't it? We're actually using the weak lads up at the front here, and we're still doing a pretty darn good job. As the big lads come in and men start flying, yes, indeed, I think it's over for them. Let's send. Oh, there he goes. There goes the Judy I fool. Let's send these chaps back. Let's just use the super heavy lads to finish this off, shall we? Elephants are coming into these chaps now. There we go, into the grapple zone. And I think they get the message here. I think they get the message. The elephants rule this town now. We're actually stuck up here. Yes. Anyway, you can obviously imagine your own nonsense. Have fun with your Roman elephants on the start of the game. Get to recruit them all you want. But it's probably time to leave these chaps for now, I think. That is all for today then, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me for this special Games Guide edition. This is obviously relevant for both Rome and Medieval 2 Total War. And indeed, it's been nice to mix around with the previous video when we looked at changing units from one faction to another. And yeah, do expect a little bit more of that as we go forward with more of these game guides. We'll put some descriptions down in the below and some links as well. Hope you join me for the next one. For now, I will leave you. Maybe though, we'll leave you with more elephants to come. I don't know. We'll have to see if they can fit in the next video. I'm Thomas, this is To Nerds to Human, and this has been our Games Guide into editing resources. Thank you, and goodbye.
Death and violence will come to you.
This is a beautiful, beautiful town, by the way, guys. Let's go and smash it up.
Dum tum ti 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 ti.
How did you die?
What is happening to my men? Steve! He was the one man who tried!